Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We are so excited to have you joining us for the next hour or so. I will give us about a minute before we really kick this off, just to allow some people to filter in. Richard, what's the weather like in Denver today? Is it just utterly gorgeous?
It is 87, not a cloud in the sky. It's beautiful. Yeah, not a hardly a breath of wind. It's quite nice. Yeah, not bad.
That's about
Not
the
bad.
same here. We're going to hit 84. According to my watch, it's currently 71 today in Bozeman.
Nice.
Just a masterpiece. Yeah, not a cloud in the
Yeah,
sky at
I
all.
was gonna say, yeah, for Bozeman, that's getting pretty warm, isn't it?
I know. Yeah, yesterday it was I think it hit 89 and
Oh,
I was driving around in my car. The Subaru has like leather seats, and so you know how you have to do that awkward leaning forward a bit so that your back doesn't stick to the
stick
That
to the.
was me yesterday.
Oh darn, rough day. Rough day.
I know. Yeah. Well,
Cool.
oh my gosh, Jenny, 108 here in Las Vegas. Woof, that is I
Yeah.
can't even imagine that anymore. Jeez. Well, I hope that your AC is working, uh, putting in some work there. Cool. Well, let us get started. Welcome, everybody, to today's Solution Spotlight, building a set it and forget it lead generation engine for your RIA with PreciseFP. Joining us today is Richard Thoeny, who is the Executive Vice President of Product Strategy for PreciseFP. Now, here at XYPN, it's our mission to help advisors start, run, and grow the RIA of their dreams. We offer all the solutions you need to run your business, and PreciseFP is part of our discounted technology stack. So, we are grateful and delighted to have you both here, with us today, just to join us on this journey. To introduce our guest today, Richard. He is the Executive Vice President of Product Strategy, as I mentioned, at PreciseFP. And his career spans over 25 years, all within financial services, either running and managing brokerage and clearing firms or developing products for financial services. He joined DocuPace in 2014, and we are honored to give him the floor for the next hour or so. Before we do that, though, just some housekeeping items today. You can drop your questions in the Q&A tab, and I will go through them throughout the webinar. This is a conversation, so please feel free to drop them at any given time, and we will address them as they come up. You can upvote questions as appropriate, so I am told. So you are welcome to do that if you really see something that you want answered immediately. Other than that, there are some upcoming events, which I will drop some registration links in the chat so you can just bookmark them or dogmark them for some other time, dog-ear them. So July 10th is an Ask Me Anything, Changed Careers to be a Financial Planner. And then July 16th is another Solution Spotlight, Get Paid Without Getting Overwhelmed, Tips on Fee Billing with XYPN Books and Advice Pay. All righty, y'all. Well, Richard, I will let you take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. Appreciate it. Thanks everybody for joining. Make sure can you see my screen? PreciseFP automating client engagement. Good. Okay. Richard Thoeny, and nice to see everybody. I thought we'd do something a little bit different today and actually kind of show you a practical application of how to build an automated kind of journey for a client engagement journey that's completely hands-free. So we're going to show you how to build it, do some web publishing, use some lead gen components of the platform, and then actually we'll see it in motion. I'll go through the whole thing, show you the whole client experience, show you how the whole thing works. So I thought it'd be kind of a really practical application of kind of a 201 level of how to use PreciseFP in your practice. So something maybe a little bit different than just a normal demonstration. But for those of you who don't know about PreciseFP, we will spend just a minute or two just kind of giving you a quick overview, just so you get the background, kind of understand how the platform works and what it does. And then we'll jump in and say, I'll show you about how we use lead gen, how you can develop lead gen engagements in the platform and how you can use those and customize them. We're going to talk a little bit about web publishing. How do you do web publishing and take these engagements and then get them out there in the world and start using them through some web publishing capabilities in the platform. And then finally, we'll touch on pipeline. So pipeline is workflow. So that's where you get into the automation components. When things happen in the system, it triggers, a next event. And so we're going to kind of put all this together. We're going to create this experience where you can go from just a lead gen piece you can hang off of a website and then publish that and then have it go through a series of engagements with the client completely hands-free, totally hands-free. So we're going to walk through the whole thing. You don't have to be a developer. You don't have to have any special skills. This literally took me maybe all in with all the template customization and the web publishing, probably an hour to do the whole thing. So it's really, really simple. So we're just going to walk through that. So we're going to do how to engage with a client, really to scale your practice. So how can I create a really nice, engaging experience for the end investor or prospect, and just hands-free walk them through collecting the data, engaging with them, very, very nice customized version of it. So we're going to start with that lead gen template. We'll publish it. We're going to create a little URL link and then put that on the website. And then we'll set up that pipeline workflow that will automatically do this process and just be completely hands-free. So from a lead gen standpoint, leads are expensive. So they're $40, $50, $60 per qualified lead a lot of times, depending on where you get your information. And so it's really nice to have a process. So it's not just creating a lead in the system, but then it's actually engaging with them and moving them, forward in that process. So we're going to walk through that whole thing. So first of all, just to kind of give you a quick overview of PreciseFP for those of you who are not familiar with the platform. So the platform is really designed around that client engagement. So being able to interact with a client or prospect in a really nice, elegant, cybersecure way, being able to share data, collect data, send data back and forth. Like I said, all in a very secure way. It could be document uploads, whatever you want as far as engagement. And then being able to take that data, once you gather it, get it into the platform. Now I want to do something with that data. I want to launch into my financial planning services. I want to use another platform. I want to send it into my CRM. I want to take this data and then do something with it. So we have lots of integrations. I'll kind of show you a little bit about that. That's really the high level. So the primary use cases that are most often talked about when it comes to PreciseFP are a really customizable data gathering, client engagement, all digital, all cybersecure. And then after you gather that data and collect that data, then being able to move that data around. So integrations and pushing that data up and around. Today, we're going to take a little different spin on that and go through the whole lead gen. We'll touch on a lot of the components as we go through it, but just give you a sense of the broader platform and the components of the platform. So at the core of these digital fact finders, so they could be lead gen fact finders, they could be client onboarding fact finders, whatever you want them to be, these fact finders that you send out and then engage with the client. We also have lead gen, which we're going to get into here. Those are a type of fact finder. Like I said, that you can hang off of a public website or use them as social media, whatever you want to generate these leads and then create prospects in the system automatically. That's what we're going to show you. We also have other components like service agreements. These are really nice because you can send out your service agreements, again, cyber secure. We also have a digital signature embedded in the platform that's native to PreciseFP. So what's really nice about that is, one, it's a really nice client experience. So they're not bouncing around to different systems like a DocuSign and having to go here and there and authenticate in other systems. It's all embedded in that process. And it's just part of the platform, comes with the platform. It's also free with the platform. So every time you send out a DocuSign envelope, for example, it could be $3 to $8, depending on the type of authentication and some other settings that you have in there. So it's very expensive and it's a disjointed experience for the client. So having that digital signature right in the platform is a really nice benefit for a bunch of reasons. We also have a risk tolerance questionnaire and investment policy statements that you can use. So the risk tolerance questionnaire is widely used. It's actually we've actually used verbatim 1999, Dr. Ruth Layton and John, I'm gonna lose his last name, Garbler. Anyway, I can't remember his last name. Two doctors that originated the risk tolerance generated number, and the actual questions they use, that is verbatim what we use in the system. So it's a really widely used and widely respected risk tolerance. So It comes again free with the platform. You can do risk tolerance, generate a number, and it's based on that original development from the original risk tolerance numbers. We've also got the core of the system is a template library. So we publish a bunch of templates out there with all these sort of practice management focuses. So a lot of it is around fact finding and going to gather data. But we've got surveys, we've got lead gen, we've got the service agreements, the IPS, risk tolerance, all kinds of different templates that you can just grab, customize to your heart's content, and then use them. Unlimited number that you can store, unlimited number that you can have in your library. And then finally is the automated workflow. So this is the pipeline. So we'll show this today too and kind of walk through that. But this is the part of the platform that has these triggered events and can move a prospect through different stages of a prospect into a client and then auto convert them to a client. We're going to use it for another bit of a different journey today, which is going to be lead gen and then automation of connecting with that client and taking them through a process to gather more data and kind of walk them through this entire process. So that's it.
Richard, we
Yes.
have a question in the Q&A. Does
Sure.
the risk tolerance part also provide a risk tolerance score for the investment portfolio, like Riskalyze?
It does. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, if we have some time, I can show you that to you at the end. But yeah, it's actually, like I said, it's the original risk tolerance generated questionnaire that kind of founded the risk tolerance number. And yes, you go through, you answer the questions, it generates a number out of that. And then people often use that as their part of their annual review process to gauge risk tolerance. So absolutely.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay. So from an integration standpoint, just so you're aware, 30 plus integration partners. Most of our integrations are bi-directional, so meaning that we can push and pull data. So a lot of people use the platform to pull in maybe from their CRM, maybe they use Redtail or whatever, and I'm going to import a client. So now I've got all my fresh set of data in the system, and then I'm going to use that to engage with the client. It'll auto-populate those forms, everything that's going to go out to them. So then they're just reviewing data. They can just update whatever they update. And when it's completed, it comes back into the system, and then you can export it back up into the financial planning tool, into your CRM, wherever it needs to go. So most of them are bi-directional, meaning sending data in, import, export. There's a couple that we only do export because that's all they support in their APIs. But pretty much if the APIs, in other words, the other system, the counterparty supports data flow, we'll send whatever data we can, and we'll do it bi-directional if we can. So lots and lots of integrations. So that's another really highly valued use case, is just being able to move data around, not having to rekey data, and just get data in and out of other systems. So let's just jump into it. I think I gotta share a little differently here. Let me just kill this real quick. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a bit of the lead gen template. Take that lead gen template. We're actually going to do 3 different templates because we're going to go through kind of 3 different steps in this flow. I'm going to take you through that, show you how to do web publishing, and then actually put that into a button on a website. And then we'll just walk through the whole process so you can see what exactly happens as the user interacts and what's happening in the system, and how you can just set it up once and then let the system just run and build leads for you, okay? So first of all, in the platform, I'm going to go into the form library, and we have all these different fact finders and polls, and here's a bunch of lead gen things that we have in the system. You can simply grab whatever one you like. You can click on them, you can preview them to see what they look like, and then you can install that template so that it goes under your templates. So I've done I've set some of this stuff up so we don't have to go through the whole exercise. But so I just picked on a financial consultant one, and then I made a couple of modifications to it, and then I dropped it into my templates. And I'm going to show you 3 of them. So I for naming purposes, just to make it simple, I did pipeline 1, pipeline 2, and pipeline 3. So pipeline 1 is this initial lead gen piece that we're going to publish on a website. And then once they complete that process, it's going to automatically send a secondary questionnaire that's going to say, okay, hey, awesome, thanks for filling out this lead gen piece. Could I get a little more information? Fill this out, just have a little better idea of kind of what you're looking to do. And then once that's done, we're going to kick off this third one. And I just tied it into the right capital. Just for example, we're going to build like a financial plan, for example. So just as an example of how to go take these 3 templates and then automate that process from lead gen on a website all the way through to collecting this information. So I'll show you a little bit about this template. So this is the financial consultation. This is the one I'm going to put on my website. And I'll just do a preview of it real quick, and then I'll show you if you wanted to customize it. So I just downloaded one we already had. So we're going to put this on a website, and I just need first name, last name, email. So I made those required. Mobile phone, you could make it required or not, and then just a time to connect with them. So I'll show you how this is going to flow onto the website. And then if I wanted to customize this in any way, super, super simple. I can simply add sections to it. I put a comment thing in here just to add something for it. I can add a little section. I can go ahead and just add in whatever I want, text field, drop down, phone numbers, addresses, images, years. So all kinds of things. Really, really simple just to drop in a new element. If you want to just modify something, you can also change the theme. So this is where I can go in and change any sort of the colors, any of the branding that you want. So you can really customize it to make it your own experience for them. And then we're also going to pull in logos and images into the template as we go through it. So super simple to customize, and you can just do a quick preview there. So let's go back here. Keep having to move things around to get to this. Okay, so that's one. And then the second one, I did an onboarding questionnaire where I'm going to pull in, I'll just do a preview here. So I'm going to pull in some information. We've got macros in the system. It'll automatically pull in company names, logos, pictures. I've got the PreciseFP logo in here, whatever language, whatever text you want to modify this to. And in this case, this is the second one that's going to go out. I just did an example, but I'm going to collect a little bit more information about this client. I'm going to gather some information about what sort of their objectives are, and then we're going to send or collect a little bit of information about their income and assets, embed a calendar into that process if they want to schedule something, and then they'll get a nice little thank you email. So that would be the second one. And then the third one, we have a Right Capital optimized fact finder. I just literally grabbed the one we have off the shelf. I just renamed it to be Pipeline 3, just so we can see these flow a little easier. And this is actually the Right Capital kind of financial planning. So it's optimized for Right Capital. So we know what data needs to go into Right Capital. So we can go ahead and collect the specific information needed for Right Capital. So it's going to all sync back into the system, and then you can export that out to Right Capital, which I'll show you. So those are our 3 templates. And then what we're going to do is we are going to take the first template and we're going to publish it. So I've already done this, but I'm going to show you the process just so I can kind of speed through this. But so, oops. If I want to, so if we're going to web publish something, that just means we're going to generate some code behind the scenes that you can use and embed into a website primarily. You can put them on social media. You can do anything you want with it, but basically you're going to put it out in some other system to be able to link back and generate this this engagement. So here's the one I created. So if I wanted to do a new one, I simply go to web publishing here, and I'm going to hit plus, and I'm going to pick the one that I want to publish. So I don't know, I'll just pick number 2 here. Now I could publish it as a URL, as an HTML link, as a button, as a bar, or as an iframe. So these are just different ways that you can say, okay, I want to publish it like this because I know where I'm going to use it and how I'm going to use it. We have a lot of people that do iframes, so you can actually frame in a form directly into your site. So you can actually show the form in the site in a little iframe. Others do a bar or a banner across the top. They can do an HTML link that you can put into a website. So I just did a really simple URL one. So if I just click URL, it's going to publish. I just did the second one here just to show you. I did a URL. So here's my URL. So I can copy this and I can put that anywhere I want. I could send that in an email. I could put it on, like I said, any kind of social media. We have a lot of people that communicate in blogs and through Twitter, and they love putting out accessible forms for people. So lots and lots of different ways that you can publish these. So I already did this one. I just took our financial consultation one, and you can say I did it as a URL. So this is the URL that was created. Okay, so super simple. Here's my URL. And you guys out of the way here. So the next thing I did, so here I've created a site. So I just went out to Canva. I just took a template off the shelf. This literally took me 5 minutes to put this together. I just took one of their templates and modified it. So this is just a website. So it could be your website. And then all I did was I created a button that says schedule a free consultation. So you could hang this off anywhere, but I built this little website and I said schedule a free consultation. And then I just put the URL into this button. So it was as simple as that. Literally took me 5 minutes. So here's the link. There's the URL that we generated out of PreciseFP. And then I just published that. So now I pushed that out to make that available out into the world. And this is what it looks like when it's published. So here's my site. So this would just be somebody coming to your site, my Thoeny Associates Financial Planning. And they're going to come in here and they're going to say, okay, yeah, sounds good. Let me schedule a free consultation. So they click on that. We are launching that form. So now they've gone into, now they're actually in PreciseFP. They don't know it, but they're actually in an engagement in PreciseFP. And I'm going to go ahead and put in, oops, Lisa Simpson. And best day to contact me, I don't know, Tuesday, Wednesdays after 5. Like to learn what. Okay, so they complete this form and they hit finish. So now we have said, give this a little thank you. Great, look forward to our discussion. They're done. They've submitted this. They just put their information in. So let's go look at what that looks like in PreciseFP. So in PreciseFP, what happens is this was out there, this lead gen piece was out there. So here's Lisa Simpson. So it actually created Lisa as a prospect automatically in the system, okay? So here's Lisa, and it automatically created her as a prospect in the system. So now I built Lisa. I've got that little basic bit of data about here, and here's a timeline as to what's happened. So here's the financial consultant engagement was created from Anonymous and Brighton. That's just where the servers are. Engagement was accessed, profile was updated, engagement was completed. Now, the second step is I'm going to go and I'm going to show you the pipeline and how we set this up. But if you look here in the timeline, now pipeline 2 onboarding questionnaire was sent to Lisa. So let me show you how that piece works. So this is the pipeline. This is the workflow component. And we have workflow for either client or prospect. In this case, I set this up under prospect. So what you can do with the pipeline, this is where you can just set events, trigger things, make things happen in the system. By default, the way it's set up is it's really around taking a prospect and then moving them through to become a client. So if you just took the default, there's a bunch of settings in here that automatically will go through and move clients from onboarding to acquire, engage, and then I've modified some of this, but then move them over and convert them to a client. So that's the original sort of intent. But it's super simple to add whatever workflow you want. So what I did was I just set up a rule that says, let's go and edit it. So I set basically 3 rules. So the first rule is when a form engagement is complete, so there's a bunch of things you can select from here, but when a form engagement is completed, only engagements where the title contains pipeline 1. That's why I did pipeline 1, pipeline 2, pipeline 3, just because it's easy for me to go in here and identify them. And then I want to do something. I want to engage with a form. Okay, cool. What form do you want to engage with? I want to engage with pipeline 2 onboarding. So I just went out and selected that because I already had that in my template library. And I'm going to send it out to the client. So that's as easy as it is to set up this trigger. So that's the very first trigger. And then I'll just show you all the triggers. And then I'm going to take you through the whole flow. So the second one is, okay, cool. When form engagement is complete, that has pipeline 2 in the title, same thing, engage with a new form. And we're going to send out pipeline 3, Reg Capital Fact Finder. This one is actually a high security, which I'll show you when we get there. So you can set the authentication method that you want as default, and then who it's going to go out to. Okay. And then the third one is to show you another way of leveraging the system. Same concept. When this engagement is complete, from pipeline 3, Then I'm going to move that account to a different stage, and I'm going to set it to pre-financial planning. So maybe once they've done this and they've entered this amount of data, I want to get them all into an area that I can say, oh, okay, I can see this group that has completed this. Maybe it's a pre-financial planning, and now I need to go call or whatever. So that's the setup. It's literally that simple. Like I said, doesn't require any sophisticated understanding of the system, or you don't have to be a developer by any means. Very, very simple to set up. So setting up the pipeline, setting up the templates, and then just telling it what to do in the system and how you want it to engage. So let's see what happens for the client. So I'm going to go.
Richard, before you move
Yes.
on, there is a question about the other do actions that are available. Can you go through those?
Sure. Very flexible. So, and if you want, if you just go out into look up PreciseFP, we have a knowledge base, or you can go to PreciseFP. This is available publicly, but go out and look up pipeline. So all this is all defined in our knowledge base articles if you want to learn more about it. But so you can do all kinds of different things. But so move to a different stage, archive the account. It's been 30 days. You can also set these based on dates. So I'm going to make this just go like click, 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 so you can see the flow. But maybe you want to have it wait 2 days, then send the next thing out, or something else to happen, and then have the system send the next engagement out. But you can move them over to favorite account, convert the account. That means go from a prospect to a client, engage with the form. This is what we've been doing. In this case, we move to a different stage, or send custom notifications. So lots of flexibility around different things you can do when that trigger event occurs. Okay. Okay, so we've got our pipeline set up. So now let's see what that experience is for the investor. So they went in here, they filled this out, and we submitted that, right? So let's make sure. Let's see. Are you seeing my Outlook, Sarah?
Yes.
You are. Okay, perfect. Okay, so filled that online form, automatically created as a prospect in the system, and then we triggered this event to send out this engagement to the client. So I just did this little quick thing, but it brings in my logos, brings in my colors, so very custom. Dear Lisa, so pulling in the name. Thank you for taking time to complete. Now they're going to do pipeline 2. Okay, awesome. They're going to come in here, another form engagement. This time we're going to collect a little bit more information. I just put in name, phone number, some information. Please complete this cyber secure form. Pick a time to meet. So really, really simple. So this will be stage 2. Now I'm going to come in here, collect a little bit more information. Just drop some information in here. Oops. That's name. Are you retired? So you can also do things like, are you retired? Yep. Yes, I am. Okay, I don't need any more information. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay, then I want to gather a little bit more information if they're not, so I can understand a little bit more about their needs. If you are retired, okay, I don't need that information. So conditional visibility, and then kind of short-term, mid-term, long-term, what do you want to do? Invest more, I don't know, make a major purchase, save for retirement, something like that. Okay, so super simple. Again, really just kind of some light information to go gather sort of that next level of information about them. Do you have any dependent children? Select the range, real estate values, investments, just kind of give a quick picture. And then here I've also embedded a calendar. So we have lots of calendar components that you can embed. So I just embedded a Calendly so they could click this. I won't go through that, but really, really simple to do, just to embed your calendar in there if they want. And then finish. Awesome. Thank you for taking time to complete the questionnaire. So now that piece is done. Let's go back into PreciseFP. We'll go look at Lisa Simpson. So when we track the timeline here, so we say everything that's happened with Lisa Simpson. So it's super easy, and you can set up notifications so you get emails so you know what's going on, but it's really, really simple. So here's where we completed 1, and then pipeline onboard questionnaire engagement was sent to Lisa. Pipeline engagement, oops, button. Sent to Lisa. Lisa engagement was accessed. So we track everything in the system, so you can see exactly what was done. Lisa her profile was updated. We collected a little more information, and then her her pipeline 2 onboarding questionnaire was completed. And then if you notice, pipeline 3, RIA Capital, automatically sent to Lisa. So again, just teeing off that pipeline, automatically grabbing it. Okay, great. She completed this step in the process. Let's go ahead and send out now the full financial plan. And again, I'm triggering these like one after another, but you can set delays and set timing and other events. So now we've sent number 3. So Lisa now gets another email. Again, branded, everything, pulls in the information. Thanks. Let's go ahead and fill out the third component and get your financial plan moving. So let's go into this one. So this time we're going to collect a lot more information, a lot more PII, personally identifiable information. So again, pulling in logos and pictures and colors and anything you want. You can put any kind of images in there you want. In this case, we're collecting PII, so it's a high security engagement. So we're automatically going to do authentication. So I've set this one up. If you remember, by default, it's going to be a PIN. So I'm going to go ahead and just send that PIN to me. I think I put my phone number in there. Need to go grab that. Right there. So Lisa verifies the phone number that we have, and then she's authenticated into the system. Now she comes in, and now she's doing the full, and you can see that we've already pre-populated with all the data we already had in the system. She can add co-client if she wanted to, enter information about the co-client. So really nice engagement for them. Employment information. Oh, she was $150,000, $20,000 bonus. Pension or something. So anyway, she goes through, puts in all her information, it fills this whole thing out, and I won't take you through all that, but enters children, any other information about them, other family members, etc. Then you get into the cash flow, expenses, can upload documents directly into the platform. You want to grab a tax return and drop that in there. Tax information, etc. And you can make all this, required, optional, etc., whatever you want. Retirement, travel, so kind of a cash flow and expectations. And then when she's done, I guess I've got some. Okay, so it's that simple. So now she completed that. Great, I'll be in touch with you, or whatever language you want to have in that closing communication. And then Lisa is done. So she went through from starting just to be a prospect of like, I'll just enter my information. System automatically created her as a prospect in the platform. And then we triggered the next thing. We went out, hey, thanks for submitting this. Let me grab a little more information from you. Grab a little more information, bring that into the platform. And then trigger a third, which is, hey, let's go initiate this, more in-depth data gathering process. Hands-free. We set it up once, and it will just go for every single client that does this. And for Lisa, if we look at Lisa's profile, so now we've got all this really rich data that's come into her profile. We identify any changes with these green indicators here, and you can hover over to see what a previous value was. I put a D in here. Obviously, there was nothing in there before. So you can see everything that's updated, collecting this data about Lisa. And then I can do whatever I want from that point. I can export it out. So I could send it off to, maybe I want to send it out to Redtail, maybe I want to send it to RIA Capital because I've got all the financial planning data that I need to initiate a financial plan process. So I've got this rich data, whatever integration you have set up. I'll just do a Redtail one here. I think this one's connected. And then I just export the data. So I've got all this data collected, and now I just want to push this out to my CRM, to my financial planning tool, whatever the case may be. So in this case, we created a new client because Lisa wasn't a client in my Redtail account. And then we're exporting all this data that we've got out to the CRM. So that is the kind of round trip from really just set it and forget it. You just set it up. Go from building a little connection on a website or hanging it off a social media platform, whatever you want, and then initiating the process, and then just automatically taking them through. And it really helps build scalability into the organization. You can do this. It looks very customized. It looks very like you've got your own touch on it to the client, got all your branding, logos, everything. And you can just create any sort of flows that you want. People get really, really creative around this and building all kinds of different flows and things like that. So anyway, that's the walkthrough. Just wanted to show you guys kind of how to use the platform in a little bit of a different way and really automatically just set it and forget it and let these things just run and let them just start building prospects for you, gathering data, going through that part. You don't have to remember anything. You don't have to remember, oh gosh, where are they at in the process? What do I have to do? Do I have to do the next thing? You literally just set it up very, very simply. And like I said, I think all in, including putting this on the website, putting that URL out there, I think it took me an hour to do it. So super simple. So that's what I wanted to go. Yeah, that's kind of the conversation I want to have today. Put some information up here if you want anything else. But yeah, PreciseFP.com. Go out there, check it out. You can reach out through support if you want. If somebody wants a more in-depth, just kind of core PreciseFP presentation, happy to do that some other time and kind of really dive into the platform. But anyway, yeah, Sarah, that was what I wanted to walk people through today.
Fantastic. We have quite a few Q&As that I wanted to save until this, so I will just dive through. Any plans for integration with Circle Black and then also with Altruist?
I've talked to both of them actually in the last probably 6 months. There's some interest there. We just haven't had a high level of interest. We've got a roadmap of integrations that we're working on. Matter of fact, a little preview for you all. You'll be the first to hear it, but we just finished a Holistiplan integration. So that will be rolling out the next probably mid-July. We'll be rolling them out. But yeah, Altruist and Circle Black, I've had conversations with them, and there's some mutual interest there. We haven't actually put those on the roadmap, but if you're interested, please shoot us a note, go through support, let them know. We track all that, and then as demand comes, they float to the top. So the more we hear what you want, the more we'll develop.
Nice. Ooh, congrats on that Holistiplan integration coming.
Yeah.
That'll be very exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Who writes these web published articles to generate business? Is there a rhyme to the reason on what topics they write? And do you have the numbers to quantify the number of leads we should expect to generate from these articles?
So you're talking about so we have the templates. Let me go back in here real quick. Oops, let me get there. So let me go into the templates. So we publish these lead gen templates. So these are things that we've had out there in the platform that we've taken from best practices from other places and built these out for just ones to kind of use. A lot of people take them and then they'll go, and they're pretty generic, quite frankly. A lot of people go use these and put their own content in them. So they'll take them or you can use them like a freemium scenario where, just like I showed you, where you have for example, I have this and say, hey, in order to download, my brilliant piece on, retire by the time you're 50, whatever, and that you've written, please enter your information. And so then you can actually have them just enter their information, create a prospect, and then they can get access to whatever content you want to publish. So what we have available in the platform is really, it's pretty generic, and we try to keep it that way. And then if people want to obviously publish whatever they want, use this function, and then just use it as a way to get people to come to them with their own content is typically how we see people use that.
All right.
There's a second part of the question about the numbers, the lead gen numbers. Is that what this is?
Yeah, let me see. It said something about quantify. And do you have the numbers to quantify the number of leads we should expect to generate from these articles?
We don't. We don't really track the leads that are generated out of any given URL coming into the system. In other words, we don't know where that originated from necessarily, how it becomes a prospect. We don't track that it actually came in from one of the URLs. So it's not something we really track in the system. We've had lots of people who've had a lot of success with this. The ones I've seen most successful have been where they publish their own content and they have a following already. And so they get a good, they publish whatever kind of article they want to write. And then they use this as a way to get people to, like I said, do a freemium. Hey, you want access to my article that I wrote? We've seen a lot of success with that model.
Right on. Okay, the next question. I assume the emails are white labeled with my firm name and logo, not showing PreciseFP anywhere. Is that correct?
So the emails, when you send something out, there's a couple options. Let me show you that real quick. Grab Lisa here, and we're going to say we're going to engage. So the way that these engagements go out, this is the same thing if I did it manually with a form. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab a form to send out. I'll send this pipeline stage 3, and then this one was an authentication. So I can create and edit this first if I want to go through and see what the client is going to see. I can also, when we generate these, the way that it works is it's going to come from a PreciseFP server. So if they're generated out of the system, it's going to come from PreciseFP as a server. We also publish a link. So you can actually just copy this link and then send that in an email if you want it to come directly from your email. We can configure the system through Amazon SES to come from your servers, basically. So it actually posts as it's coming from your server. That does require configuration on both our side and your side. It's usually for typically for larger firms, frankly, that need that and have a real sensitivity to making sure everything's flowing through their server flows. But we can do that. It is an option to configure, but there's cost to that because we got to pay somebody to configure it and configure it on your end. But we can certainly support that. Most people use just the system generated ones, and then the ones that like to have want to do it through a link, they can just copy this and send it in their own email as an alternative.
Good tip. So what does PreciseFP use for e-signature?
It's proprietary, so it's a digital signature. So we actually have an embedded digital signature that's proprietary to the platform. So that's one option. So that would be for anything that can be accepted through the through the PreciseFP digital signature. So it is actually a digital signature, not just electronic signature. If you're familiar with the difference, the digital signature, simple way of thinking about it is it doesn't break the Adobe methodology, and it has all the hashing and everything. So it's actually a digital signature, which is really important. So that's from native to PreciseFP. And then we also have DocuSign. So we have a bring your own DocuSign version where you can just tie your own DocuSign to it, and then you can use your own DocuSign account.
Nice. How long would it take to implement the PreciseFP to be used efficiently? I think that you mentioned an hour, but how long do you typically see?
This is what I just walked you through was, like I said, it's kind of the 201 level of kind of an interesting way I thought would be cool to show about using the platform. It's literally, you can go to precisefp.com, sign up. As soon as you do for a trial, the support folks will automatically reach out to you and set you up for a coaching session if you want it. A lot of people choose not to do it, but I recommend you go through it. They'll spend 30 minutes with you. Honestly, within 30 minutes, showing people how to use the platform, we almost never hear from them again. I mean, it's really intuitive. It's super simple. If you want to get into the more complex things, and I wouldn't even say this is that complex, honestly. It's a little more moving parts to it. But yeah, we see people get up and running in a matter of hours, and they're just up and running, and they're off and going. So like I said, I recommend the coaching session. Go through it. They'll get you up and running and show you all the tips and tricks and get you moving. And then, like I said, we almost never hear from people after that. It's really intuitive.
I always like to hear that.
That's not the norm when it comes to financial services.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Where are uploaded files where do uploaded files from the data gathering form go? How are the uploaded files and forms of PII secured?
So The platform is secure, so it's all AWS hosted, AWS SOC 2 compliant, etc. There's two ways of storing documents. One is in an engagement, so if they put it into that engagement, it'll actually be embedded in that engagement, so it's stored. And then we also have connections into lots of different document management systems, DocuPaste being one of them, which is our parent company. Box.com. There's a whole host of them that you can connect into and have them automatically flow into those systems if you want. So it's just a little bonus there, but or you can also store them in the client profile. So you basically have a document at the client level or the household level, or you can have it in an individual engagement. But the fact that they're authenticating into the platform, so you would never want a document upload feature added to anything that was low security. You'd only want to do it for high security. That's what we have by default. So they're actually authenticating into the platform. When they're uploading that, they're actually in PreciseFP. So they're authenticated into the platform. So by default, it's a secure, cyber secure platform. Honestly, it's a really nice feature because you're not sending things through email. You don't have things floating around. You don't have printed, documents, whatever. It's all done in a secure way, which is really nice.
Nice. And then I'm just going to jump forward to another kind of security question. How are your emails archived for compliance?
So we have the ability for either to set up a BCC, so we can automatically BCC an inbox for you, whatever you want. That's really simple to set up. If you want the more complex version of it, or a little more, not complex necessarily, but a little more higher level, we have APIs, so you could come in and actually pull it through API. So I have either of those available. A lot of people set up the BCC and just have it go into there, and then they pick it up in Smarsh or Global Relay or whatever. But you can also access them through an API if you want.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially, I'm just remembering with like XY Archive or any email archive solution, they will just pick up any inbound, outbound emails.
Yep.
So the BCC is a good route there too.
Yep.
Okay. When it came to exporting the information, someone said that they didn't see Wealthbox in that drop-down list. Can it be exported to Wealthbox as well?
Oh yeah, yeah. This is what I have set up in my environment, but if you go into, so I don't have all the integrations set up in here, but if I could just go into my settings and integrations, and again, this is just my test account here, so I'm not even sure what I'll have set up in here, but so yeah, we have all different, so here's Wealthbox. Oh, I do have Wealthbox enabled, so actually it should be there. So anyway, you can just configure any one of these. You simply set it up, you would enable it, and then it will take you to their site, ask for the credentials. We actually don't store the credentials, by the way, in the platform. We generate a token and then store that token. So we do it in a very, very secure way. But yeah, actually, Wealthbox should have been. Now, let's see. We'll go back to Lisa and export. I think I had Wealthbox. Oh, yeah, I have Wealthbox set up. So there's Wealthbox.
Right.
Yeah. So these are just the ones that I already have the integration enabled because I have the other side connected. But there's a lot more than obviously what's here.
Sweet. In the help in your knowledge base, is there a full list of available integrations?
Yep. Yeah, actually, if you just go to this is just publicly available, so just on the public website. But you should type in PreciseFP partners. You'll be taken to literally, I think it's the first thing that comes up in Google. If you just go to partners, we actually publish here's all our integrations. And then if you wanted to see more about it, we'll tell you if it's bi-directional, we'll tell you a little bit about how the integration works. And then if you really want to know in more detail, just drill into the knowledge base. We actually publish all of our mapping tables. So you can actually go in here. Here's the red tail one. Now it's really hard to see, but we actually publish every single field and exactly what we map. So picked on red tail, but you can see it's quite a bit of data, pretty rich data set that we can move back and forth between us and red tail, for example. So yeah, all that's available for anybody that wants to go look at it.
Cool. And then does the CRM automatically create prospect records for you as well?
Yes. So when you create, if I came in here and I said, oh, I want to, and I'm not sure if that's set up in here. Let's say I just want to do an import. from Redtail. I don't know what I have in my Redtail. Let's see if I have anything. Oh, I do have some. So so what I did was I just went to import a new client. I can do it as a client or a prospect, so I can bring it in any way I want. And then I just did a search. So I'm actually going out SSOing into Redtail because I have the connection already set up. I search for anybody that I have for Fox. I've got Dale Fox out there. I don't know what I have in my test environment, but so now I can just go ahead and import that. If you notice, I don't think there's a Dale Fox. There's a Cat Fox. Let's see. So it will import whatever data I have through that and then create the client. And in this case, I say create it as a prospect. So it's bringing all the data over. There you go. There's all the data. And if I refresh this, oh, I'm in prospect. Let's see. Oh, I think I brought it in under Cat Fox. Let's see. So it will just bring in that client data. I think I brought it in under a current existing prospect. That's why. So just add it as a co-client. But yeah, you can just import anything you want directly from whatever connection you already have.
Right on. Okay, so we are rounding out this hour. We have 3 more Q&A questions.
Okay.
The one of them, is there a way to have the Pipeline 3 Right Capital Fact Finder form sent out 1 to 2 days after the date they select for the Calendly meeting?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I just, for purposes of demonstration, I just had them like trigger one after another. But yeah, you can do all kinds of different things. So you can go in and tee it off based on some other event that occurred. I could do something like the engagement's complete. So instead of move, let's see, we want to engage with the contact if I could do a profile data. So I could set a field level change in the system. So I could I could do it based on when they go into a different stage. I could do it based on a different time. I can pick a field when a field changes in the system. So you can pretty much do anything you want as far as the timeline of when you wanted to do it, or if a data element changes in the system, or if there is a data quality score. So a lot of people will use, I didn't get into data quality score, but data quality score is based on, there's a calculation in the system. And by default, it's kind of built around KYC. So it's around collecting KYC information. So if you look at this is actually pretty cool. So if you look at the client accounts, we generate this data quality. So by default, it's based on the KYC. So how much data I have that I need for my KYC requirements, but you can go in and change it to anything you want. So a lot of people will say, don't send out this engagement to go collect financial planning data until I have 80% or 70%, or so. You can set all kinds of different things based on the data quality scores, and you can prioritize your data quality, so you can rearrange it to anything you want. So there's lots of different ways you can do that.
Great. This last one, can you just bring up your contact slide again? They're just asking for your contact information. Sweet. And then what has changed since DocuPace purchased PreciseFP?
Wow, that's a loaded question. A
Best for
lot,
last.
a lot, a lot. So for those of you who don't know, so I've been with DocuPace about 10 years. I ran product and strategy for DocuPace for, I don't know, 8 of those years. So I've got a lot of background in DocuPace. I was on the due diligence team that when we acquired PreciseFP, and now I'm running PreciseFP for the last year plus. But so I would say, management, capital infusion. So we've really been able to accelerate the roadmap, which has been really nice. We also last year, kind of in the August timeframe, we became an affinity partner for LPL. So we developed a lot of what I would consider to be enterprise grade capabilities, like that BCC function we didn't used to have. So there's a lot of kind of enterprise grade features that we built out in the platform to make it scalable. So we put a lot of money into the infrastructure. Just a big, a lot of behind the scenes capital infusion stuff, and then a lot of the features have been, and it all helped on the retail side as well. But a lot of features that have really developed the platform to create more scalability. Lots of interesting integrations now with the DocuPaste platform. We're moving into an integration hub model where we're going to be able to leverage all the integrations also in the future that DocuPaste supports. That's coming sometime next year. Event-driven architecture, also, again, connected into DocuPaste world where events created in the system can be streamed and then activities can occur. So you can tie those two together. So lots of sort of assimilation of the platforms. There'll also be a new UI coming out. So starting on the DocuPaste side, eventually that will flow into the PreciseFP and just do an upgrade. I mean, it'll be the same, functionality, but a little fresher UI will be coming sometime next year. So lots and lots and lots of things that more capital and some other bright people with great ideas bring to the table. So lots of good stuff.
Great. Yeah, you're right. That was a bit of a
Yeah.
there's a lot I'm sure that you can go on and on about.
Yeah, lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff coming. Yeah, it's great.
Nice. Well, Richard, that kind of ended the Q&A section, so there's nothing more, and we're at 11:56 local time, so I think we can wrap it. Thank you to everyone who joined us today. It was just Richard, you have just such a wealth of information, so this was great. If you want to learn more about PreciseFP to you all, please sign up for that free trial. There is that QR code that is currently listed on the screen. You can also just contact the general team, support@precisefp.com. There is that live chat, and then just going to the website as well. Otherwise, if you aren't currently an XYPN member and you would like to learn more, I will drop a schedule link down in the chat. And then as you leave this webinar, there is going to be a feedback survey that pops up. So please take a moment to give us a rating, and you can suggest any topics of interest that you're interested in. We'd love to know what you think. Otherwise, yeah, Richard, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to always talk to you.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Great. Well, I'd love to hear that. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. Take care. I'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.